the so-called good guys with a gun. School staff preparing to defend students from a shooter. Meet the man investigating the Longmont Housing Authority's warrantless searches. He works for the Longmont Housing Authority. Meet the construction foremen, for women of the future. Meet the memory of a man without a home, but with many friends. And meet Fremont County's raging bull. He's loose and he's mad. Next. There are school staff members from across Colorado learning a new defense against school shooters. Shoot back. Our Noel Brennan went to their training session in Weld County today.
You can load your mags and jump in line. So everybody come on over here.
While school's out for summer, some Colorado teachers are training.
The faster you stop the shooter, the faster you stop the bleeding, the fewer people die.
Coloradans for Civil Liberties is providing active shooter training for armed school staff members like Ronnie Wilson.
I'm looking for every possible venue and avenue to ensure safety of students.
Ronnie is the student today, one of 17.
So it could be teachers, janitors, principals, superintendents.
The others don't want to show their faces on camera for a reason.
We never want the bad guy to have a strategic advantage.
Most everyone is from a rural school district.
Law enforcement is 30, 45 minutes away. They are their own first responders.
These teachers are not going to get the level of training that law enforcement or real highly qualified security guards are going to have.
Tom Mauser of Colorado Ceasefire sees more than one problem with armed teachers.
Crossfire if you have more than one armed person. Teacher becoming the first person that might be targeted. Law enforcement coming on the scene, not knowing who the good guy and the bad guy is.
School staff members say they want to be prepared and put parents at ease.
They ask us a lot of questions about our academic program, but equally I get questions regarding school safety plan.
Today that means honing skills they hope never to use in a classroom. For Next, I'm Noel Brennan.
The training goes well beyond just returning fire. School staff members will also learn crisis communication skills, crisis management skills, and emergency first aid as they continue through that training this week. The Longmont Housing Authority is promising to thoroughly investigate itself for warrantless police searches of tenants' homes. The Longmont Housing Authority is committed to transparency. For starters, they clearly don't want us in their meeting.
I have to ask you to take your recording devices and to leave.
The closed-door executive session with their attorney has those big glass windows, very transparent. We assume that they're discussing how they used mandatory landlord searches to bring in police dogs for warrantless searches that the tenants could refuse if they knew their constitutional rights. But let's ask attorney David Herrera.
You know, I don't think I can even give you topic.
Okay, perhaps a board member can offer a bit more transparency.
We've appointed our counsel as point of contact for this.
All right, so we're back to the Housing Authority's attorney, who is also now the spokesman for the Housing Authority and the person assigned to investigate the Housing Authority.
I have a duty to my client to be as thorough as I possibly can, looking at wherever that leads.
But I mean, like, taxpayers and tenants will get to see, right?
I think we will see whatever is within the public domain.
But transparency.
I think we will see those things that can be disclosed that are not part of an ongoing investigation.
No, we get that. But what about the
I think we will see those things that I'm granted permission to disclose.
All right, what exactly are we going to see?
I think we will see some further explanation.
So it appears we might not see much from the Longmont Housing Authority's investigation of the Longmont Housing Authority. There is also the independent review of Longmont Police's participation in the warrantless searches. That is being done by an independent party, the Weld County Sheriff's Office. The note to us here read in part, "His ashes are in my living room." He is Robert Mercer, was Robert Mercer. His ashes and his memory are in the care of the Greenwood Village Police Department. Robert was homeless. He spent nearly 20 years wandering the streets near Arapahoe Road and I-25. We see the final chapter of his life through the lens of our photojournalist Corky Scholl.
How are you doing? Thank you.
Do you remember Robert?
Yeah.
Well, Robert was a fixture around Greenwood Village. Yeah, you remember him standing right over here in front of the 7-Eleven, right?
All the time.
He's a very large man with a beard. He wore headphones, and you could tell that he was homeless. Yeah, he's been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So, right here in this corner was one of the places that Robert would call home and put a tent back in here, a sleeping bag back in here.
A lot of time I see him, he stay here under the tree, sleep here, and I see him all the time in this area.
As police officers, and he was a homeless guy, we got a chance to see him quite a bit, but we kind of adopted him. And we took care of him, bought him clothes occasionally. He was somebody that we looked out for, and we kind of felt like we were his family.
You know, the only family he really had was all the people who helped him over the years. Many, many, many people knew Robert.
We feed him. We feed him all the time. He make a plate, gave him Coke, chai. He liked the chai, Indian tea. He liked that.
Robert was so much a part of this community. If we didn't see him, we would look for him. He was special to us and close to many officers here, and we really felt the loss when we didn't see him anymore.
What happened to Robert was he had a heart attack, and they couldn't revive him, and he died. We're going to have the memorial service Thursday, and we're trying to alert as many people as we can.
Nobody should just be gone and forgotten. Everybody should be treated with that dignity, and it seems only fitting for us to help out with that.
The community is invited to Robert's memorial service this Thursday, June 22nd, 7 p.m., Calvary Summit View Church. It's in Centennial. We have all of those details and more in the next section at 9news.com. Our never-ending effort to help everyone, us included, better understand how our city is engineered, that took us to the new 14th Avenue bike lane between Spear and Bannock, where it would seem at first glance that some of the white poles are in the wrong spot, because typically, you know, those separate the car lane from the bike lane. Cars on one side, bikers on the other. Actually, Public Works says they have installed the poles at intersections to keep cars from accidentally turning into the new bike lanes, which makes perfect sense. Also, I learned today that those white poles are called bollards, which sounds like British profanity, but that is apparently what you call bike lane separators. Bollards. There are signs that America's political temperature never really cooled after the election. Those signs are election signs, still out in yards. Next viewers Bob and Linda up in Longmont voted Trump. They are proud of it. They've left up their sign, and it keeps getting hit. Egged, maple syruped, stolen, all because of their political views.
The egg yolk was from the front of our porch here. You can still see bits and pieces. We did clean it up. And on the window seal right along here. About a week ago, my husband was sick, and so I left the house to go to the store. When I returned, the whole garage was just smeared thick with yellow egg yolk. My husband's pickup truck was smeared with clear syrup. Earlier in the month, had to put the Trump sign up higher on the tree, and someone had climbed up the tree and had removed the Trump sign and taken it. I just think that that's wrong. This is America. We stand for America freedom, and we expect to be treated just like we would treat other people. And that's how we feel.
We checked, and the city of Longmont says you can leave up a presidential lawn sign just as long as you want there. It's the city election signs that people have to take down within 7 days. The most Colorado thing we saw today is Fremont County's frantic search for a loose bull named Edgar. Please do not approach, the sheriff's office tweeted. Bull is aggressive. Edgar's owner tells me that he is no more aggressive than any other bull, but he is a bull, so he's super aggressive. Edgar was last seen in Penrose, southbound on M Street specifically. I asked Edgar's owner how he got loose, and he just said, well, he plowed through the gate. Our livestock report continues with Aurora's new herd, which has been turned out at the Aurora Plains Conservation Center. They're grazing the area for a more eco-friendly landscape management approach. There are 100 sheep to eat the grass and 2 donkeys mixed in to keep the coyotes at bay. because no coyote wants to risk a good donkey kicking, you know what I'm saying? Look for him out there through the end of August. It's jerk season in Colorado, when firefighters face all kinds of preventable problems. If you don't get on the Rockies bandwagon now, you're going to be chasing it down the street. The Rocks haven't been in this spot since 1995. Way back! Oh, Rockies winner! Becky's forecast is hot. It's also full of informative science if you like that kind of thing. Next. I keep losing an argument here at 9 News. When we talk about the cause of summer wildfires in Colorado, I think we should be able to say jerks. But our boss wants us to say human caused. But Anastasia Bolton is with me on this one, even if the professionals are also polite about the self-inflicted dangers we face when Colorado's hitting record high temperatures.
I've been on West Metro for 22 years.
West Metro Fire's Jay Jackson
It would be the 23rd summer.
has probably saved a lot of jerks in 22 years.
We need to be nice to everybody.
He is too nice to say so.
We need to be aware of what's going on around us.
He'd prefer most of us were nice too, or at the very least reasonable. When it's 100 degrees out, watch out for those who have trouble watching out for themselves. You know, don't be a jerk.
You're playing in the park. Make sure that you're drinking water. Make sure that you're keeping track of each other. Make sure that your kids have sunscreen on and that they're drinking water. And the elderly, we need to take care of them too.
Smokers, keep your butt, double T, in your car.
As the weather gets warm and the grasses and the trees start to dry out,
which mixed with your leftover cigarette causes fires. Don't be a jerk. With 4th of July approaching, what's more patriotic than caring about our state enough not to buy your own fireworks if it's too dry to use them anyway?
and don't shoot off fireworks in your own backyard. You really don't know where those are going to go, if they're going to start a fire.
And would you do all of us a solid? Don't leave your human or furry kids in the car. The first will rightfully land you in jail. The other will lead to being publicly shamed by Kyle.
We're almost at 100 in Colorado, which is unusual for us, and we don't know how to handle that.
Jay Jackson is too nice. We do know how to handle the heat. Just use common sense is how. For next, I'm Anastasia Bolton.
It was hot today. 99 degrees, the official high. That set a new record, breaking the old one set back in 2007 of 97 degrees. Yes, Anastasia's right. We all need to be very careful when we are heading outside. If you're at work, stay hydrated. Make sure you're taking lots of breaks in the shade. This includes our construction workers and also those who are working on the roads. If you are in your car, look before you lock. If you're inside, check on the elderly, sick, and especially those folks who don't have air conditioning. If you're outside, again, stay hydrated. Find shade and limit strenuous activities outside. You can get in that extra workout on another day when it gets cooler. And we've got one of those days headed our direction. It's not tomorrow. 96 degrees will be our high tomorrow, shy of our record high of 99, but it does come over the weekend. There will be a few chances for some thunderstorms out there, but overall, 70s and 80s for highs. That sounds like a pretty nice Colorado day.
Indeed. Becky, thank you. Purple's becoming a more popular color in Colorado. Have you noticed? So it is time to ask, is there room on the Rockies bandwagon? You best hurry. There is not much room left. I am not lying to you. Everybody knows at this point the Rocks are for real. Through 72 games, they've never been better in terms of winning percentage. Best record in the National League. They haven't been a top alone, the NL West, this far into the season since 1995. This is happening, people. Take it seriously. May I make a recommendation? Rocks related. Want to point you towards something that didn't come from us but is worth your time. Behind the plate at Coors Field tonight is umpire Joe West. He's working his 5,000th Major League game, and USA Today has a great write-up on one of the icons of the game. When West came on the scene in 1976, the teams at Coors tonight, Rockies and Diamondbacks, they were nowhere close to existence. In this USA Today piece, West talks about what he thinks is the worst rule in baseball in 50 years. And he also points to the greatest players he ever saw on the diamond. You can find a link on the next Facebook page. Convincing girls that what the construction industry needs is women. Two frequent flyers who feel like they live at the airport decide to just embrace it and each other. And one more reason why they hate us. Next. CSU is trying to get more women into the construction field by starting them young, as high schoolers. And that's how we arrived at the first ever Women in Construction Management Summer Institute. Alumni and staff from CSU's Construction Management Department led the camp. They taught high school students useful skills like digital modeling, turning a two-dimensional drawing into a 3D model. The students learned to build material lists, how to handle those materials. They learned budgeting skills. The idea was to get these girls engaged and excited about an industry that is certainly male-dominated.
Women, specifically in construction management, is kind of a unique field. So we have 16 girls, and to have them all there and to have them leaving really and truly feeling like there's nothing they can't do. I mean, we felt that way too. At the end of it, we were like, I'm so empowered and so inspired.
They spend an awful lot of time, apologies, CSU is going to hold more of these camps in the future, so stay tuned for that. We're about to meet a couple that spends a whole lot of time at DIA. Frequent flyers who travel for work is a big part of their lives, that location. Now it's a big part of their marriage. Carrie and Dom got married at a Southwest Airlines gate. In fact, DIA says the couple's marriage license actually says DIA Terminal C, Gate 29. They eloped in Santa Cruz, California, but they came back to the airport to make things official and even went back to the Southwest gate to take their engagement photos, since they hadn't yet done that. In another edition of This Is Why They Hate Us. Did you notice it in the news this morning? The Ken dolls? Yeah, we got the same email as so many thousands of other reporters across America. Breaking, said the subject line. It's not really breaking news. It's just a business announcement. Mattel has some new Ken dolls, 15 new and diverse Ken dolls. Look, that one has a man bun. Yeah, slim, broad, original body type. It's Ken's time to shine with his new modern look, the email said. Okay, that's fine. And guess who took the bait on this one? I would say nearly every single TV station in America. Free advertising. That's why they hate us. It's a sign that you're near a place with a lot of smart people. And your feedback next. It's a sign that you are in smart company. Geek Crossing, it says, complete with a pocket protector and glasses. Kathy Azelson spotted this at the Seeker Engineering parking lot in Centennial. She says she was walking from Lost Highway Brewery to Cherry Creek State Park when she saw the sign. Kathy, I'll come along anytime you want company on that brewery to State Park Day, and that is a great sign. Finish with your feedback. Nicholas Trujillo talking about our story on the vandalized Trump sign in Longmont. Where's your outrage? Where is your indignation? Nick, we picked the story, we put it on the news because it's gross. These people were targeted for their political beliefs. Quit looking so hard for bias, man. We're doing our best. We'll see you next time.